All right. Call in order the Community Development Committee for the City of Blue Island, Wednesday, September 9th, 2020 at 7 p.m., 7:02 p.m. There is no public comment. Roll call. Alderman Bilotto's here. Alderman Cantelo.
Here.
Alderman Hawley.
Here.
Alderman Alexander.
Here.
Alderman Mech back in yet? All right, well, we got a quorum. So there's no public
Yeah,
comment.
he's here. I just allowed him to talk.
Okay. Alderman Mech? Well, I'm going to count them here. I see the number. Old business, we need a motion to approve the minutes from August. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
Tom, do you second?
Yeah, or
Okay.
or Annette, fine, whatever.
All right. All right, on new business, I'm going to go through, we're going to do some of these I'm going to table and some we're just going to remove off the agenda because it's just, there's some stuff that was on the agenda from last month that didn't fall off. So under new business, number 1, discussion and approval for a business development grant program application for Tequila Jalisco property, which is located 12250 Southwestern Avenue for a new awning. And Ahmed, I think you provided the grant application. Is there any anything you want to let the committee know about this?
I submitted all the information requested to Howard. He asked all the information. They were given, all that it was required. So Howard submitted it to the committee to have it approved. I submit, and so everything is there.
All right, my first thing, Tom, you might remember, did we not allow the bubble awnings anymore?
Yeah, I was gonna say the awning is the waterfall kind of awning, and it's not appropriate. Although the building itself is out of the TOD, so it's not really in the historic area.
Yeah.
So there could be an out there, but I know that would not be an appropriate awning south of 127 for sure,
Yeah.
or on Old West.
Can we request, is there any other issues anybody have with this? Otherwise, I'd like to request the style to match what we've approved everywhere else as just a recommendation if they can change it and tentatively approve it and send it to Ahmed. Is there any other changes the committee would like to make?
I just have a feeling that they're probably using an existing frame.
Yeah,
So,
it looks like the same one that's there actually
yeah.
to the everything, but we can always ask.
Yeah, and then I mean, you guys have reviewed it. It seemed like there was a lot of information on there, like more than there should be. Or maybe it's just a lot of colors and art. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seemed busier than most.
So Ahmed, is Howard still processing this stuff?
Yes,
Is
he
he
is.
still in charge of? Okay. All
Yes,
right.
he is.
Okay.
All right. I'd like to make 2 requests then. I'd like to request the style to match what we approve south 127th, which is I forgot the name, what they call it. It's like a classic. It's straight lines, like a regular awning, like you see in front of Kathy's Flowers. Off the top of my head, I'm running Corona.
Well, like the travel agency one that's coming up next.
Yes, exactly, like the travel agency one.
Or
And the writing should only be on the
Mike.
valance in the front.
like double
Yeah.
play in the
Yes.
new passport, edible
Yep.
passport that's coming up.
Yes. So I would like to make that recommendation that it matches that style. And I guess that would be, and I'd like to see canvas instead of vinyl, but I know I'm getting too picky now probably. So, but
Yeah.
that's my
Well, I
recommendations.
prefer canvas, and if we're paying for half of it, I'd rather do it.
Yeah. Any
And
other
I
members of the
almost-
committee? What else you got, Tom? I didn't hear you.
I would almost like to insist on canvas and be a little bit more less strict on some of the other stuff.
Yeah.
Just that once you somebody do vinyl, everybody's going to go vinyl everywhere.
Yeah. So Ahmed, can we make the recommendation that it matches the same style like the other one we're going to approve tonight and canvas?
Sure. Definitely.
Other than that, I'll make a motion to approve with the changes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cantelo. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 2, discussion and approval for a business development grant for James J. Kathleen Clapel property, unnamed cafe, which is located 12856 Southwestern Avenue, awning and 9 double hung windows.
Fred, this is Howard.
Yeah,
I've been online. It just took me a long time for me to be given permission to speak because I could talk more
Okay.
about Jalisco.
all right, let's go back to Lisco. I didn't know if you were going to be on or not, but we
No,
made those.
I'm on. It was just
So we made the
frustrating
two
that I couldn't
recommendations.
communicate.
Yeah, we made those 2 recommendations, Howard. What else you got?
Okay, so let's go back to Jalisco. So
Yeah.
the Jalisco falls under the commercial signage area. So it doesn't pertain to the UTOD. How Jalisco provided enough information just to have this discussion. First of all, the awning shouldn't be illuminated internally. It should be externally lit. Now, if they're going to use the awning as the main sign in the commercial sector, it's measured in 2 ways, 1.25 feet for linear feet or 25% of the awning area. So I gave the example, or I reviewed the example of one of their pages where the length of the awning is 28 feet. If I do 1.25 by 28, I get 35 square feet of signage on the awning. Or if I do 25% out of 112, 4 feet by 28 for the awning, it's 28 square feet. So the signage on the awning should be at least 28 square feet. Now, I do concur. It shouldn't be in a bubble format, but they're going to probably reuse the same one. But they're going to have to reduce their signage on the awning and have more of a material being shown to the public.
I agree, and I'd like to want, if possible, canvas. I agree with Alderman Hawley. Vinyl, we're paying for it. Let's upgrade the canvas.
Right. So
wait.
in this situation, this is a good conversation starter. Ahmed and I will speak with Jalisco because they communicate better in Spanish, and I need to convey this with Ahmed on how they're going to be advertising on 3 sides of the building: the front, the side, and the rear, or the side of the parking lot. So the signage has to be reflective with the square footage of the awning. That's what I'm going to use as a default. So a lot of it is going to be more materials, and I do agree it should be canvas related. Not
Excuse
vinyl.
me, sorry to interrupt, but Mech's trying to get in. Somebody's got to let Mech in. Sorry.
I texted Randy.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Okay, Howard, go on.
So how does the board feel about internally lit? I take it. they don't want to
I
see
prefer not to have internally lit. That's my
Right.
opinion.
gooseneck lighting on the awning.
I agree.
I mean, it's right there on the corner. There's plenty of light out there already.
Right. I'll communicate with the assistant of Ahmed because it's Spanish speaking. It will be easier. Gooseneck lighting, canvas, and smaller signage area.
Yeah. All right, and we can, if the people that I made the motion and Alderman Cantelo seconded, we're okay with those additional changes without doing a new roll call? We're all good?
Yes.
All right, the second one we have, actually, I thought this was the one next to Eagles Hall. So the travel agency, they're gonna put a cafe there?
No,
So it's just, it's the wordage
I
is
think it's a
incorrect on the
repeat
agenda.
from last meeting.
Okay. All right, well, the address is the same and the owner is the same, so we can use it. All right, so this is a travel agency, 12856-60 Southwestern Avenue. They're replacing windows and replacing the awning that's currently there with new canvas.
Right, Plepo.
I like a lot. Is that pretty much sums it up? Is there anything
No,
else you want to add?
So Plepo is going to change the awning. It's going to look much better. It's going to be newer color. He's going to continue with the same awning type, and he's also going to be replacing 9 windows. So between the awning and the windows, it's going to come out to plus or minus $10,000. 75, it's going to be the cap amount, 7,500 for him to be reimbursed. He's going to be changing the windows on the 2nd floor.
All right.
So I
agree.
Application.
I agree. I'm going to make a motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Second by Alexander. On the question, any additional suggestions? Are we good? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Number 3, discussion and approval for, so this is just approving the final payout for
Yes.
Michael's Haircare Salon.
Yeah.
I know I was there. I brought the information to Ahmed to pay it out. The awning looks great. The sign looks great. So
Yeah, it all looks great.
we're just looking for a motion and a second, correct?
Yes.
I'll make a
All right.
motion.
Motion by
Second.
Cantelo, second by Hawley. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Okay. All right, that was number 3. Number 4, I'm going to table unless Howard has any additional information.
Which one's number 4?
Puff and stuff.
Oh yeah, puff and stuff. I've never heard back from the applicant. I guess we should table it
Okay.
again.
All right, we'll table number 4. Number 5, Kevin, you have no new information on number 5, do you? The Arts Alliance stuff?
Other than, well, we hit a snag because the building owner, well, the property owner, I reached out to him via telephone and talked to him for a little bit. He said he needed to verify if he still owned the property and to call him back in 2 or 3 days or whatever, and he gave me a time, and I called him, and since then I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Called him several times, I've texted him several times, and I think he's just ignoring me at this point. So I don't think he's going to be cooperative. He said on the phone he would be, that he was fine with it. I said I just need that in writing, but yeah, he's kind of disappeared on me.
All right, we'll continue that down the road. Mech is trying to get back on, Randy. Ben, whoever's got the host right now. Number 6, Calsite Trail. Any updates, Eric? Is he still on here?
Hello. Yep.
Eric,
sure
we have any
Thank you.
updates?
Yes, I do. So we reached out to Dave Landwehr, who's the coordinator for the west segment of the CalSag Trail. Mark Miller
Okay.
did, I should say. So basically, we can't change the scope of the trail project at the moment to include any kind of spur or anything like that. What Dave recommended was that if we want to go ahead with it, because those are local roads, all the ones on the map you and I went over all of them in Bilotto, all of those are local roads. We can signpost those and stripe those accordingly without anybody's permission. It just wouldn't be paid for federally. So if that's something that we wanted to do with TIF funds or business development funds, I think that area of Vermont is, I don't know, but either way, the bad news is that we can't really tack that on, any of that work onto the federal project as it is now. The good news is, those are all local streets, and if we want to stripe and signpost it is a detour for the CalSag Trail, there's nothing stopping us from doing that. I would suggest including, there's been many times where as long as we don't have to do new excavations, if there was a handy street light or something there, or we could even post signs on Vermont.
Okay. Can we tie this
Okay.
in with the ITEP stuff?
This is something we could tie into the ITEP. Yeah,
I'd like to do that. I mean, we got nothing to lose. Throw it in there. It's minimal compared to everything else we're asking for.
it is. It would be a small addition in cost.
And we will know if we got awarded that stuff in the spring, correct?
Yeah, let me think. Yes. Yep.
All right,
we
so-
would know if we got awarded in the spring. The only downside, the only downside with that, Alderman Bilotto, is the federal. Depending on the length of time, we're willing to wait, because with the ITEP projects, they're federal and they typically take a long time. We're talking years. And with a local project, which is just restriping and signing, we're talking about months.
All right. So and then if you're saying that, can you do something without costing a lot of money, just estimating what that would cost for the additional signing and striping to move put a spur in, I guess, to take it off Vermont Street?
For sure. That is a very not involved estimate that I could come up with very
Ballpark. I'm not going to hold you to it, Eric. So.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
So,
No, we can put together an estimate for that. It's all very standard stuff, and it would not be a problem at all.
okay. All right. We'll do that. Update on ITEP, or is this just on the agenda from last meeting?
It's not. I have an update on
Okay.
ITEP as well. We took the ITEP to, well, we were going to take it to municipal services, but it got pulled from the agenda. That was yesterday. But however, we did discuss it anyway. Alderman Farnwell wanted me to bring up with you all. We've discussed previously leaving out / harmonizing whatever improvements happen at 127th and Western and 127th and Vincennes to the maximum amount possible to not involve rework. For example, if Western Avenue was to turn two-way and we had installed median refuge islands, so like the concrete islands where a pedestrian could wait, and with having to reconfigure the intersection for Western Avenue two-way, those were to have to come out. I hope this is making sense. What Alderman Farnwell asked that I bring up with you all is that we look at improving those intersections regardless of any future improvements. He feels that there's an urgent enough need that we should kind of look at that independently of whether or not Western Avenue two-way goes ahead and those intersections are reconfigured. So I wanted to bring that to you all for your opinion.
There are a lot of people who cross that at that intersection, and it is
No.
fairly dangerous. It's a huge intersection. It's hard to get
No,
across.
I agree. Is there any way, again, this is awarded in the spring, that we can plan for it, but we can change our minds if we're awarded the two-way stuff?
There definitely is. So we can put this as part of the scope of the grant application, and that scope is not written in stone, in my opinion, because we still have to go through phase 1 engineering, phase 2 engineering, and then, I mean, like something like pulling an intersection out or drastic changes you wouldn't want to do in construction. But I mean, all the way up till we get to construction, those plans are still kind of mutable as long as we're not changing the idea of it. You know what I mean? That's what so this is a very preliminary plan, and I don't think that would be a problem.
Did you need a motion to change any of this stuff, or just we're okay with it? We're okay with it.
I think I just wanted your all's opinion, unless you all think you need to do a motion.
Is everybody in favor of the addition of 127 and what was the other intersection?
It's 127th and Western Avenue and 127th and Vincennes.
Yeah, everybody.
So you know
okay with
that whole area, it's kind of like
Yeah.
a mush.
Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, we'll leave it in. We'll put it in. All right, Eric, what else you got?
I think that's it from me. So unless you all had any other questions regarding that.
No, that's
Fred, Mech's still not in.
I thought I heard him say yes.
Randy, you hear that?
He just put in the chat, I'm still not in. I don't know, maybe is he in now?
Randy, you there?
I texted Randy, but I haven't heard back from him yet.
Yeah, I texted him too.
All right,
Buddy,
we'll continue on. All right.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Number 8, discussion and approval to allow Cook County Health Center to install a new monument sign at the parking lot, the Elise, 12779 Southwestern Avenue. At this point, both for 8 and 9, because it's a separate issue than the other parking lots, I have no issue with allowing them to do it. We've already beat up a little bit here. Is there an issue from any other member of the committee to not permit this at this time?
That's the one we already tweaked with the height and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, if that's okay. I need a motion then to approve number 8 to allow them to install their monument sign at 12779 Southwestern Avenue. Is there a motion?
Motion. Cazares.
Is there a
Okay.
second? Second? Cantello?
Second.
Second.
I'm trying to call Randy.
Any
What's that?
questions? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, discussion and approval to allow Cook County Health to install 8 light pole banners on
Hang
the
on a second here, sorry.
same parking
You
lot.
want to talk for a minute? They're trying to reach me here for a second.
Sure, I can always talk. Hey, really quickly, have we given any thought to fundraising?
Raeann,
Yes.
you trying to call me?
Yeah, I'm trying to get Mech's not in.
He was in, he's been in and out like 10 times. Every time he comes in, I allow him in.
I don't know. He just texted me, telling me he's not in.
I know he's not in. I saw him there was one time there was 2 attendees and it didn't show up. So I don't know, that must be, like he said, he was having trouble on his side, but every time I see him pop up, I allow him, but it just must be something on his end with his phone or whatever.
Okay.
All right, so we have number 9. I make a motion to approve the banners. Is there a second?
Second, Cazares.
All right, any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 10, I'm going to table. Based on the conversation with Kelly Burke, they're looking for $500,000. So it's a lot of money, and it's more than I'm willing to give up out of the business district at this time. I don't know if it's just hardball, and they didn't put a dollar amount on the park.
What's it for?
The parking lot north.
Parking lot.
And it's actually only not even 2/3 of the parking lot, because we own the largest section of that out of the 3 sections. So I wanted to actually go out there and count the parking spaces, and I haven't done that yet because they put a dollar amount per parking space. So when I have those figures, I'll bring it back to the committee if it's even worth negotiating, but I don't think how much they're going to come down off $500,000 is unlikely. So I'll table this right now, and I'll bring back some figures with the exact amount of parking spots on the sections that we do not own. Number 11, discussion and approval for residential parking recommendation, location on between 127th and Grove Street. So I went down and I'm making this recommendation. We could send it to the judicial or a municipal. From the alley immediately behind Western Avenue on the west side to Greenwood, and only in front of residential homes. So this was exclude in front of the parking lot, in front of parking lots we own, like on York Street, like on Grove, like on, what's another one in there that we own? New Street. It would only be in front of residential homes, residential only on those following streets of Prairie, Oak, Walnut, Union, High, York, New. On the east side, there's only 2 blocks of residential homes between Gregory and Western Avenue, Prairie and Walnut. And again, the same stipulation, residential only in front of residential homes or apartment buildings. Is the committee okay with this? This covers the entire district. It solves the immediate issue along with any other future issues if they just move to another block to the south or to the north. And I figure we can always easily extend, if we need to extend it to the west, just by amending this ordinance once we pass it. Do we have any questions or comments on that, my recommendation?
Are they gonna enforce it?
I think that's the second step. Once we pass the ordinance, we have to enforce it. I know once we did the residential parking down here by me for the stations, they seem to be enforcing it because people stopped parking there. And I haven't had any complaints anymore now. So it seems like the police are enforcing residential signs, at least the ones I put down here a few months back off of Chatham and Vermont Street. So any other questions? Otherwise, I'll make a motion and we can, well, before I do that, which committee, we only have to send this to judicial. Do we want to send it to municipal and judicial? How do we want to tie this thing up? We only have to send it to judicial. What does the committee feel? If we send it to 2 months, it might be another month before it ever makes it to city council.
I mean, might as well send it to both because, we don't want to delay any more time at a city council meeting because, a chairman feels like they should have had their fair share.
All right, well, we'll send it both simultaneously then.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to send it to both committees, municipal and judicial, for these recommendations. Is there a second
Second.
on the question? All right. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, I have a couple things I'm gonna bring up before we get to 12 and 13. Cutting of the rain gardens. So I attended a meeting, I was invited to a meeting last week of the Block 37 group, and majority of the rain gardens are mostly just weeds. I walked them myself. I know Alderman Mech's walked them. Is he back on yet or not? I don't see him on here. Now, we walked them with the residents there. Most of them are weeds, grasses, and my recommendation would be, and I believe, I already talked to Jim from Public Works, not even half a day for him to do this, to cut back, and we'll call it a fall cleaning because it's mostly all grasses anyway. They have to be cut back seasonally. They just come back the next year. It would at least temporarily solve the issue of the curb appeal, how bad those look in the animals, the rodents. They're 3, 5 feet tall in some sections. Some people are maintaining, I'm not talking to ones that are maintaining perfectly and correctly. I'm talking ones that are just weeds. So I'm asking the committee's approval to go to Public Works, and if and then Public Works I'll email the mayor and Public Works, and however they figure out how to do it, it's in their court. But I'd like it to come out of the committee. At least we're addressing it, as in we're going to call it a fall cleanup.
I totally
Is there any
approve.
questions or concerns?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion just so it's official. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Second by Cantelo. Any questions? I'll email, or all in favor? Say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll send an email to the mayor and Jim Polster, who I've already talked to. Like I said, it'll only take him a few hours, he said, to cull it down. So at least that's a temporary solution. And then in the spring, we might have to do a different kind of solution. But at least that'll clean it up for the next 7 to 8 months and solve that problem.
Just make sure that Jim knows which ones to do, because if somebody is keeping it up, they obviously want it.
Yeah, so no, I've already talked to Jim about that. Alderman Mech's volunteered to go out there. I might go out there if I'm available, but I do agree. That's why I mentioned there's a few people, I think 2 people that maintain them correctly. And then there's some that we can cut half of it down without a problem. And there's some that we just cut the whole thing. So it's got to be pick and choose, and that's got to be done carefully. I believe Alderman Mech volunteered to do that. So that'll be done. So I'll send an email to the mayor's office tomorrow morning. Then the buy home signs, Ahmed, I've been communicating with Ahmed Sandino. I'm sure everybody, well, I've gotten a lot of calls on this throughout the city. They're stapling these signs 20 feet in the air. And there's probably, in my neighborhood alone, 30 of them. On trees, telephone poles, on people's fences. I mean, it's out of hand. And it's throughout the city, and it's almost too much to count. Ahmed's got a running list of, I think, 40, 50 locations. And that's not, none of them are on the south side here. I probably have 30 down here alone. Right in front of my house, there's 4 on this small little intersection on Rexford, the dead end. There's 4, 1 on each pole. And I can't reach these even climbing on top of my minivan. They're like 30 feet in the air over here. So I don't know the best way to attack this. I thought about just calling them to get their address, asking like if I'm interested in buying a house or selling my house. And I'm put Ahmed on the spot. If I get you an address, will you follow through with them if we can find them? Because I know it's illegal to put signage on public property.
I got in touch with Abdul. That's the guy that's the guy who answered the phone, and that's the owner. As a matter of fact, I talked to him today, and I don't have an address. And I already told him that if I have a place or I locate him in any place, I will have a police officer go with me and talk to him, because that is, yes, I mentioned that's illegal. He kept promising me that he was going to send somebody, and I've been after that since almost the first day that I saw the sign myself. And yes, true, I couldn't get it. I couldn't reach any of them. And then I had one of the inspector went on and pick up the line, and Alderman Bilotto sent me another several today. Yes, it's out of hand already. And the guy answers the phone. He said every day he promised me, I will take care of it. I'll take care of it. But he's not doing anything.
Well, we should be able to find them.
Well, yes, we can find him, but where we're gonna send the message to? He only answers the phone. I don't have address. I don't even have an email because he's reluctantly to give it out.
I'm gonna try to get you an address, Ahmed. I'll try to get one tomorrow because I have a legitimate property management firm, and I'll call based on that and see if I get it.
Okay, that will be good. I'll follow up on right away.
So I wanted to bring that up. Just
how did they put that? How did they get them up there? They are very high up in the air.
And that doesn't make any sense. I have cameras in front of my house, and it's literally, I own the house next door too, and it's 2 feet outside the camera zone of view. I'd like to know how they got up that high too. They had to have a ladder. They had to, or a bucket truck. And the amount they did, probably a bucket truck, because just taking the ladder off and on a truck 100 times, it's a lot of work for those little tiny signs.
I know, and they are all over, and it just seemed like they popped up, overnight practically, and nobody noticed them going up, and nobody noticed seeing somebody putting them up, Must have been done at night or something.
Probably. I mean, or during the working day, because I didn't see them, and no one's called me. I mean, all 4 corners, nobody saw anything. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see if I can get an address, and we'll go from there on those. In the meantime, the only other option we have is we have to have Public Works go and take them down. That's going to take several days of their time, and until it gets a little colder out, I don't want to do that to them. And they're short-staffed as it is, and they're going to be busy through the fall season. If it's still a problem, I would think in a few weeks to a month, maybe they'll have a little time we can do that if they're still up. But it's a terrible situation. It's going to take them 2-3 guys a truck in 2-3 days to do that. So, but it's like picking up garbage, I guess. If we do it once, maybe it sends a message. I'm not sure. I go back and forth on this. What is your thoughts on the committee on this? Should we just try to get an address first and go that route?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if for no other reason, we can charge them for taking the down.
Yeah. All right, we'll do that. I'll see if I can find some information out by tomorrow. All right, the last thing I got is on Halloween, just an idea. On Channel 4, I know we haven't made a decision on what we're going to do for Halloween yet, but on Channel 4, can we run publicly owned like cartoons and movies on Channel 4? Do we have that capability? Ben, are you still on there?
Good idea.
I don't know like what the legalities would be with like if we own the rights to do that, but if I would be able to put it up if we could get a copy of it and we're allowed to.
Maybe we can work with the library. They have the rights to a bunch of things, right?
Just an idea. Marisol, are you on there? I see your picture.
Good evening.
Hey, Marisol. You hear that idea about playing some stuff on Channel 4 for Halloween?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Remember that ASPAC or that company that, thank you, that ASCAP, that company that wanted us to pay that money in order for us to play some music or whatever. I don't know if we should do it for playing movies or playing shows or what have you.
Yeah, if you want to toss the idea up the flagpole to the mayor, and if it's interested in doing it, I had the idea today. Mech and me were talking, and it seemed like if we can do it, there's got to be publicly owned stuff out there. It might not be the best stuff, but just an idea to throw it out there.
You won't be able to play anything. You won't be able to play anything unless it's public domain, and good luck finding something that is that old. That I'm talking about. Beethoven age that you can play now. That being said, it's not a bad idea to give people that want to stay indoors something to do. But
if I can make a suggestion, maybe we can play like last year's Trunk or Treat or something like that if we have anything like that.
It's just an idea. If you want to run it up to the mayor, and the mayor, I'm sure, can make a call to an attorney, see if we can do something. If not, then it's just an idea. I just wanted to throw.
How many hours are you looking for?
Yeah, and what kind of show do you think?
Anything children appropriate, it's very young children appropriate for probably normal trick-or-treating hours.
Yeah,
because
how about this?
I'm not sure, 2-3 o'clock through 9-10 o'clock at night at the latest.
Like a cartoon?
How about this? Let's put Ben to work here, and let's have the public submit their photographs of the costumes and create a nice slideshow. Play it on loop.
Yeah, Halloween pictures over the years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we can do that.
If I'm not gonna walk, if I won't be able to strut my costume down the streets, might as well, show it off on Channel 4.
And I've got a lot of pictures from the truck or treats over the last couple of years I could give Ben, if that's okay. I mean,
Just something. I figure why not? Nothing else is gonna be on Channel 4 that night. So
We'll have to sign a release, just so you know.
Yeah.
as long as you don't name the kid's name, I think it's okay. Just
Well,
because
if you request people to send it in and they send it in, I think they're giving you tacit.
Correct. With
Yeah.
the right wording. With the right wording, you're fine.
all right, so that's just my last thought on there. And then going back to number 12, billing department and billing department report. Ahmed, you got anything?
Oh, I submitted, the information was submitted to every one of you, and it's, the report is there.
All right, marketing report, the Brown Town.
Hey, everybody. I tag teamed in. Okay. So you guys have the marketing report from August, which I've been breaking down the coronavirus hours for the CARES Act. But just so you know, just going over this, we drafted the weekly employee updates for each Friday of the month. And we did 2 new video updates with Chief Rita and 2 with Mayor Vargas. And those were all posted to the city website and YouTube and Facebook. We update blueisland.org/coronavirus pretty much daily. Sometimes on the weekends, we don't get to it, maybe on a Sunday, but almost daily, especially as things have kind of wound down. Our traffic was historically about at the average level, 16,255 visits. What we did kind of see this last month, I think I probably could attribute this to the power outage from the storms. We kind of saw an increase in users on social media, and I think probably less going to the website. So you'll see that in all the reports that are attached. We've created the monthly newsletter, which is distributed in the water bills. And of course, we update the city social media with information and community alerts. So one of the things that we've put in the newsletter, and we just want to make sure that, we're trying to communicate as much as possible. And if you can get it out to your residents, is to sign up for that Smart 911. It's really probably the best way to get real-time information, especially when you have a situation like we did last month where power was out for a significant amount of time. Internet service was down as well. So, but people were really relying on their phones and they were able to get those messages. So we just want to make sure that people do continue to sign up for Smart 911. You can do that online, or you can get a form at the clerk's office and turn it back in there. So any questions about anything?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I thought I heard just through the grapevine that like the park district wasn't doing those Halloween things, and then in the newsletter they had those 3 events.
I agree. So they told me they weren't going to do it because I'm the one that always runs trunk or treat. They told me no trunk or treat, and then also we got it in the water bill. So I don't know.
Yeah, I did reach out to Tom Wogan today to try to get some clarity. I had been told that there were 3 events that were going forward: Monster Bingo, Trunk or Treat, but that was going to be a little different because it was going to be you'd have to sign up for a time slot, and there would be a limited amount of people that were coming. And then I think they were going to do the flashlight egg hunt. So I did reach out to Tom for clarification. I didn't hear back from him, but then I heard that it went out in the water bill. So I'm not exactly sure what they have going on. We talked about it on the COVID call today, and our leaning is that we shouldn't necessarily make a city, or we don't really need to make a city declaration as to what's happening, but we were talking about supplying signage on the website that people could download, either indicating that their household is participating or they're not. Just kind of giving some of those resources to the community, but ultimately it'd be up for you guys to decide.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ahmed, do you got anything else before we end the meeting?
No, Susan, apparently I didn't get a chance to talk to her. She was really busy. She's working on rat abatement, and she's going to have a report for us next time around. because she's
Okay.
pretty busy out there on that.
Great.
All right, anything from the committee?
I have two things.
All right,
I have two houses that I would like somebody to look at. I can send you both pictures, Ahmed, and it's one, hold on, let me find it now. I took pictures. I went today and took pictures. I have them for you today. One is 119, I think it's like 04. It's an apartment building on Ann Street. It's pretty bad. And then there's the roofs and the windows are all open. I don't know if they're being ticketed. And the other one's 11950, say 53 Ann Street. I mean, they're both pretty bad. I talked to the neighbors because the neighbors were concerned on the 11953. They said someone comes and cuts the grass once a month, but I mean, it's pretty bad. So I don't know if they'd be fined, violated. I don't know what the rules are, but if somebody could just take a double check on those two places.
all right, if you can email me the address and I'll find
The
out.
pictures, okay, I'll send it out to you.
All right. Any other member concerns? All right, then we just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Cazares, second by Cantelo. All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, adjourn. Next meeting is going to be October 4th. All right, guys, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Good job.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. See y'all.